Nico. Obviously, things tend to continue to go against us. Uh, I thought had a good start to the game. Um, Came out aggressive, created a goal. Disappointing to concede off of a restart, but that can happen. Show some character, come back, get up 2-1. And, from there in the second half, Montreal, to their credit, is all over us. Concede another, I thought, a soft goal off of a restart. And then from there, they took the game to us a little bit. We adjusted, tried to play in a back five just to try to stop the bleeding. But they continued to push. And again, once it gets to the 88th minute, you just want to close up shop and at least not concede. And right now, we're unable to do that. Need to stick together. It's a very difficult moment, as we all know, and have to regroup quickly and go again against Chicago.
Thanks, Jim. Jose Nunez.
Thank you, Jim and Nico. Jim, I wanted to ask about the substitution of Ty Baribo coming off in the 76th minute. Was that injury? Was that fatigue? And obviously with the limited bodies on the bench, what was the thinking behind Mbaizo coming in at that stage?
Yeah, well, Ty picked up an injury in warmups. Weren't sure if he was going to be able to start the game, hurt his back, and pushed, I thought, in a really positive way. Did a good job for us. Again, at that moment, they were really attacking us in the wide areas. We were almost, Jack McGlynn was defending Rowan, which was in a good matchup, almost in a back six. On the other side, Quinn was pinned back as well. So in an attempt to get, Kai closer to Rowan, and Bizo closer to the other wing back, we made an adjustment there. Should be able to hold on with the three center backs and three holding mids and two strikers, but weren't able to do it.
And then sort of thinking about, the thin margins that you often comment on, and I think best illustrated in two ways here with Leon sort of losing track of Martinez and that corner kick, and then I think in the 80th minute, with Mbaizo, what he thought, I think, was a ball that was going to go out of bounds, but ultimately goes for a throw in and pins you down. What I hate to ask this, but like, what is it going to take to sort of, turn these mistakes into, what this team has been about leading into the season with, solid defending?
Yeah, the small margins are real, and when things aren't going well, you get exposed. Montreal was a desperate team tonight as well. It was two teams that were in need of 3 points, so it's a very fine line. Again, when you score two goals on the road, that should be enough to take some points back to Philly. But the way things are going right now, it's never enough. It's never safe. No lead is safe. We haven't been able to defend well as a team. Um, Strange goals have gone in. We've let ourselves down, and it hurts. So again, we have to find a way to, you know, make a play that turns things more in our favor. We've come up short in that area, and as the coach, again, I take responsibility.
Thank you, Jim. Safe travels.
Thanks.
Joe Tanzi.
Hey Jim, just how frustrating is it to not really have any of these options on the bench to even kill off a game at this point? I know there's injuries, I know there's international absences, but you also haven't been provided with the best complement of players over the last few transfer windows, and it's showing up in these types of games where you can't bring depth guys on to kill games off. How frustrating as a coach is it to be in this spot over and over again this season?
I think there's no question that we're a little bit thin right now. A couple injuries have hurt us. The call-ups we already, we knew about that those would happen. Again, Ty took an injury in the warm-ups, and we didn't think we'd have him. So we were adapting and adjusting again. Luckily, he was able to go, and the back loosened up a little bit for him. So give him credit. But uh, it's a challenge right now for us to finish a game off, to close a game off, and maybe take it from a tie to a win. And again, we talked about all week, we're best when we're proactive and not reactive. And right now, I would say as a whole on the field, myself, we're reacting rather than being proactive, and we're paying for it. So we have to find a way to change that. It hurts again. Nobody's happy. The guys are close to breaking out of it, and every time I think that we're going to get a bounce or a break to at least take a point, which we should have tonight, we let ourselves down.
Are you at all concerned that your job might be up in jeopardy given the stretch of results this season?
Look, I know what I've done at the club. I know the highs that we've had in the last 6 years. Those are great, but it is a what have you done for me lately business. So again, there's always pressure. You always have to try to improve and get better. Right now, we're in one of our toughest stretches we've ever been in. Again, the guys that aren't here aren't going to get us out of it. So the players that aren't here due to international duty, due to injuries, aren't here. So once we get that full slate of guys back, I'm confident we have a really strong group. But that's the reality of things right now. So yeah, there is always pressure to do better, to find a way to get a win. Right now, things are tough.
We have enough time for one more question. Jonathan Tannenwald.
Thanks, Nico. Jim, sorry for the back. You said over and over again, the guys we have, the guys we're gonna get us out. Is there any frustration on your end that there's not going to be any more guys at it? Because it seems, at least at this moment, I mean, it's not necessarily going to be the same guys once Julian's gone, and if Jack McGlynn goes after the Olympics. Are you frustrated at all that you're stuck with a hand that is less of a hand than other teams are going to play?
We have the quality in the locker room to get results. If you look at the last several games, each one tells a different story for sure. But we know that in each game, we put ourselves in a position to at least take a point, if not all three. And we haven't gotten that done. So as the coach, I take the responsibility of that. I know that the guys continue to work hard, as hard as they can, and fight hard, whether it's in training, in the game. But the small plays we haven't been able to make to turn those losses into ties or ties into wins. And that part is really difficult and hard right now.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.